welcome back to the quick tips we've got going every Tuesday. As with last week's, we're not going to be going in depth into these tutorials just so that we can have some form of coverage. This week's is portraiture or retouching or cleaning up or just getting an image ready for production to a certain degree. So what we're going to do today is just take a look at how the process unfolds, just so that it's easier to understand my workflow or my methods. I'm going to start by doing what I think a lot of people would consider the obvious. I'm not going to go in depth and clean up everything. I know there's a bra strap showing. I'm not going to clean that up this time around, but what I'm going to do is just going to give you a look at what the image looked like before I did my basic cleanup. Now for cleanups, I'd use my heel tool, rarely. More than that, I'd use my stamp tool. So there's always methods about how people prefer doing that. That's how I like working with it. I work with my stamp tool. This would be the first step, which is essentially just tune-ups around the face and a couple of other things as well. So let's just take a look, and you can see that if you take a look around there, most of what we could see was there is cleaned up, same as with the blemishes around the top. And if you pay attention to it, you can see that there's no damage to the skin. One of the other things I do is, and I can't remember where I got this from, but it was a couple of years ago. That I got this pack of retouching tools. I know they exist somewhere. I don't have them in my current actions palette, so I can't really tell you where they're from either. I'm 100% sure I don't have them here, because I've had to reinstall Photoshop a bunch of times in between, and they just aren't there. But one of the things that I do use this particular palette for is I'll switch the Solarize panel on, and then I'll invert it to see what exactly is going on around her, because I was using a darkish backdrop. I think it was black to a certain degree, and I know there were some dots and white spots around, but if I switch in between, I can see that there's a couple of blemishes here and there, and if I zoom in, I might be able to see something better. So let's just take a look, and you can see that there's these spots lying around here. If I switch this off, I should be able to see certain white dots that were lingering around here. I don't remember where they are. Oh, there we go. So there's dust, and I think there's some sensor spots as well, which needed to be cleaned up. And you can see them if I invert, or even if I keep my Solarize on. So this is something that I found really handy, because it helped me quite a bit in getting everything cleaned up. And if you look at the background now, you'll find that if there should be minimal to no spots showing up. All right, and we're just gonna switch this on and off a couple of times just to see what that entails. All right. So we can switch this on and off, and it's not a perfect job by far, but a number of these things do disappear, so you can see that happening very visibly on her face. Okay, so I'm going to keep this check layer off now, and we're going to go to our first group. We can see there's some basic stuff happening here, like something there. Oh, it is a cleanup layer. Okay, there we go. So I think this is a continuation of our cleanups as well. And keep this layer on and just keep switching off. Take a look at what's going on. Right, so it's basic tune-ups. I can see there's a couple of things happening here. It's not 100% visible, but it's there. There's probably a dodge and burn layer just to clean up some of the additional stuff. Then I get into contouring once I'm done with my cleanups. I'll start layering over so that I can start having some form of shape that I'd like. As I progress, you see that these layers become a little more intense. I think we can look at just what I've done here. There we go. So it's definitely contouring. There's a lot more contouring happening, just so that we can see what's going on here. You can see that in my personal opinion, this is what I wanted to get at that point. And finally, I'll do some color adjustments so that I have something that looks a little more cinematic. Hope this helped. Have a good one.